Hello, sorry about that. Thank you. That was a first time for that intro, everybody, from my random streams, which I haven't been able to stream much like this lately. So, anyways, thanks everyone for watching. I know we're at YouTube and Rommel tonight. Tonight I am joined. I've been trying to get more into LP stuff lately. I feel like people are missing a lot of the fun stuff of the local stuff. So I want to start talking to people more on spaces or on streams. And tonight I am joined by Nathan. Is it Polsky?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm a ski too. I'm Fensky, but it's a E, not a Y. But still think I'm Polish. Pretty sure my dad's adopted. So, anyways, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name's Nathan Polsky. I'm currently the vice chair for the Collin County Libertarian Party of Texas. Also the Senate district rep for my district. I'm also on the political action department for LP Texas, and I'm currently running for the chair for LP Texas.
That's a lot. That's a lot of. How much time do you put into just those things you listed?
More than my actual job.
Oh, it's such a dedication to the cause. I always tell people, I'm like, people just think there's like this warehouse of little libertarian elves keeping the parties going and stuff. It's like, no, it's just people who are working and everybody's doing like working.
We like the abuse for some reason.
Oh man, I'm not even on the board of Colorado. I'm obviously really involved and do a lot of stuff, but it's like even that I'm like, good Lord, everybody does so much work. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Great. It's fun too. And I'm like, I like this part of it now, like the more politicking part now that we're like doing stuff and strategizing.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you start? How did you get into the Libertarian Party? To the actual party part?
To get to the actual party part. So, my journey into libertarianism came from a mostly apolitical family, Republican father, Democratic mother. Politics was never allowed to be discussed at home, so that was never anything that I discussed. Got into the workforce, started paying attention to what's going on in the country. First time I voted was for Gary Johnson. Second time he ran, because I looked at the other two candidates and was like, no, neither one of these candidates is okay at all. They're both crackpots. So let's find out who else is out there. So that's when I discovered, I would say, the Libertarian Party and started learning about, well, what's the platform, what's the philosophy. And then in 2020, I went and I voted for Joe Jorgensen, but I started getting involved locally when COVID hit and lockdown started happening, and this mass hysteria started spreading throughout the country. And I looked and saw, well, I'm a libertarian, card carrying libertarian at this point, but where's the messaging? Where's the party actually sending out a message that says you have your personal freedoms? This is all insanity, and standing up for these, authoritarian governmental regimes. And it wasn't there. So I decided to get involved locally. Then I decided to run for city council. When I first started getting involved, just kind of jumped feet first into it. Did that. I ran for city council 3 years. Then I also, at that time, was also getting involved with the county party. Spent a lot of time doing that, and then got involved with the state party, and have just been on the road since.
It's such a joy, isn't it?
It's such a joy.
Such a joy. And then once you show that you have some gumption and want to put some time into it, then yeah, you're in for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there any? Oh yeah. So when's your convention? I assume you're running at the next convention is when you'll find out. for your chair.
Correct. So Texas conventions are different than other states. We have 4 different convention dates. Only 3 of those are mandatory in order to run for, or to at least to be a delegate to the state convention. So we have our precinct conventions will happen on a Tuesday. Then you have to go to the county convention, which is on a Saturday. And then a month later, you can get to go to the state convention, which is also on a Saturday. And so Texas law does not make it easy for third-party candidates to participate in those conventions. In addition, our convention next year is going to be in Corpus Christi, which is on the opposite side of Texas from where I'm at. So about 7-8 hours south.
Yeah, it's not convenient. It's
No.
nice. It's nice close. And what time of year is it? Is it before the national?
It has to be before our national.
Yeah,
So the state convention will be in April. So
okay.
it's the second weekend in April, I believe. It's like April 12th, 13th, and 14th in April.
Okay. Oh, fun. So, I like you. It's kind of good you have a website for running for chair. I was like, that's really good. It's amazing how so many people run for things on whatever, and they don't have a website or anything. But I like that you're putting the effort into it. Do you have a lot of competition?
At the moment, I'm the only one who's announced. So
Okay.
nobody else has announced that they're running.
Nobody else better announce.
I mean, I would love competition. I don't think anybody should ever run for office, either if it's a political office within the party, within the government. Running unopposed, that doesn't really represent your people. Now, Texas ethic or election code says that you have the state chair. Anybody who's running for state chair must file with the state prior to announcing that they're running, but they can do that all the way up until the day of convention. So somebody could, the day of convention, say, I'm running for chair as well. And as long as they have all the paperwork filed, they're allowed to do so.
Okay. Yeah, and then someone probably just has to nominate him, right?
Yep.
And then someone always stands. Do you have somebody who always does the NOTA? Do you have someone at your...
Always has NOTA. NOTA is always an option.
I like this goofy inside joke that
NOTA is never not an option. So
we have one guy who I think he moved, but he would always get up and do the best speeches for it, and I think he was just kind of a fun character. Anyways, so okay, so what can list the things you do again? Oh wait, hold on. There's a question in the chat. Don't our SLEC bylaws say they have to fill out the form first? And this is Kumbaya Libertarian.
The Texas election or the Texas Ethics Committee, the TEC, requires that anybody running for state chair of a political party must file with the state beforehand. Vice chair, secretary, treasurer, they are not required to do so, but chair is required to do so.
It's the big wig, it's the important one. You're the CEO.
That's right. So things that I'm doing, like I said, so vice chair for the county. I'm also Senate district rep. I'm also in the political action department. Trying to get a couple coalitions going right now, specifically in the coalitions team. And then also just helping out really anywhere else I can, helping out with some counties and candidates, websites, and just doing that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, there's so much to learn, isn't it? So fun, all this, everything. It's just I've been, if I win or lose, I'm just excited now to help other people because I've just been tumbling through it. From step one, it's been oh, I shouldn't have done that, shouldn't have done that, should have done this. But I've nothing terrible, obviously. Everything worked in my favor, even though that was kind of terrible. But there's so much to know. I even I turned in my first round of financials for my race. And I had wrote some names down, and I just wrote because I had to write all these entries down because I can't do it electronically for my level race. And I didn't notice, but there was a couple just Twitter handles basically as people's names. I have to
Oops.
report. Yeah, I have to report anything over $20. Has to that just has to be reported. So it's like, oh, but they have this rule. They're like, okay, so if that happens with through a website, what can you do? Thanks, Stoner, for the $5. Um, and so what you do is you just donate to charity that
Mhm.
amount. And I'm like, okay, done. That's cool. And then I just have to report that now on my next round. So it's like that's fine. Because someone looked through my things and called called and complained.
Mhm. Yeah, for our local races, we have to report everything.
It's a pain. I
If
mean, it
it's
would be nice if
$5, if it's $10, if it's $500, you have to report it.
we at least have 20 or above, but I still had like 26 pages of like four each, and I had to write them all out. It was kind of fun though. I like that kind of work. Like I don't mind doing that.
You want to be my treasurer next time? I don't want to do that again.
I was like, and I was when I was the all the forms and everything were. It was like whoa. I used to be a full charge bookkeeper, but like I haven't done that in a long time. So
Hmm.
it's like I'm okay with it, but it takes me a minute. And then yeah, it was easier than I thought. That it was just time consuming because I couldn't put it up to like through an electronic thing. You run his website.
Which one?
Sorry. Kumbaya Libertarian says I'm hurt because he didn't mention he runs my website too.
I do. I do run a website.
Nice. Oh, and they said, but our bylaws, so of your party bylaws. That was from before the other question.
Yeah, the last convention, you had to submit documentation with the state party. I think it was by noon on Saturday if you're interested in running for anything. So same thing, if you want to file to run for chair, you have to submit it with the party. Probably the morning of would be sufficient.
Benzo Barbie would like to know what's your favorite side with your steak. Oh boy, I love it. Does your county affiliate? Do you guys meet up like every month, or?
We do. One of our members owns a little gelato shop in one of the downtown areas, so we just meet up every month. He's got gelato, he's got coffee. Terry's Gelato, call it to his little place, and yeah, we just meet up. We talk about what we're doing as a county, stuff that's coming up, and every other month or every 2 to 3 months, we'll do like just a happy hour get together. We just did a gun show this past weekend. That was Saturday and Sunday. Had pretty good turnout for that.
Like a booth at a gun show?
Yeah.
Nice.
And missing were any Democrats or Republican Party booths. So
Hmm,
we had the full swath of all the attendees there.
very nice. Yeah, if people are going to show up, like libertarians, we will show up to something. If you can get the
Hmm.
couple people who actually like to go do
Hmm.
stuff. How is the GOP in Texas? Obviously, it's got to be. Is it pretty dang big?
It's big.
Yeah, it has to be.
It's pretty big. I went to one of the Collin County GOP meetings. Um, they had about as many people in their county quarterly meeting that we have at a state convention. Um, and their funds they were 5 digits for their active funds. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's rough, but luckily out here they're actually struggling just like we are. So like they're not that much greater because the left came in and took over Colorado.
Right.
So I mean they've been losing for a while. So it doesn't feel bad to us. We're like, well, you guys been losing longer than we've been losing technically.
Hmm.
It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy for our process to get on for state level out here. Just vote at convention.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I just like going to the county affiliate meetings. We have one of our county affiliate meetings did it was a smaller town. They did the pride there. We have this awesome trans lady who's there,
Hmm.
donated to my campaign. So, the SPLC calls me anti-LGBT, but I like like,
Well, we know the SPLC is a hate group, so.
like these people have called me every name in the world, and I'm like, just look at my life. Like, what are you talking about? Just because of my associations? Like,
look what I'm doing. Look at my messaging. And if you still want to call me out on things, then obviously you're not paying attention.
yeah. The funnest thing is I have there's some people I hear, some of those fun people we were talking about earlier. It's just like, holy shit. People are really fixated for no reason whatsoever, and it's weird. Hey, Anna Banana, haven't seen you in a while. You're bringing all the babes. Oh, okay. I'm picking up that we're vegan, or that was the inside joke. Hey, Ada.
That was the inside joke.
Like, I don't know if you can see the Rumble chats. They're
no,
hard.
I don't have it up.
Yeah, I can bring it up. It's harder. Yeah. So okay. So you got till April. Do you just basically go for your campaigning within the party, just going around going to more county affiliates and?
Yeah, I've got a campaign team that I'm working with that's working with me. Right now, I'm hitting up podcasts. I'm also making calendar dates for getting out to different in-person meetups with different county affiliates. Also, planning on traveling throughout the state. So Texas is big and travel's not cheap. So looking for couches to sleep on, finding a place I can park my car and sleep if I need to. But I'm committed, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah, then it's fun. I kind of like it. Like, I always like going around to like meet with everybody anyway. So it's been fun. I know a lot of people don't understand the party politics at all. And like, it just always cracks me up because I'm like, they think online libertarians are nerdy. Like, you need to come check us out. Let's see what else. What else you got going on? What else? Any other big projects?
I'm moving. Working on that at the same time
while doing everything else and while working a job, I assume.
Yes. So. Fortunately, my job is fully remote, so I can really do that from anywhere. So when I start traveling around, it won't be that much of an issue.
That is nice. I think I've seen Texas did some like range day get-togethers before.
There's been a few.
Okay.
Yeah, we just did. I forget. Was it was either Austin or in San Antonio? One of our more recent select meetings, we did just a range day, like the Friday night beforehand. We had the whole place to ourselves.
Nice. I agree, Anna, that the party politics is our word. Just Rumble. If it was just Rumble, I would say it. But I always laugh too because I'm like, you know what? I don't necessarily even believe in the political process, but if we're gonna play that game, which you can sit around and talk about it, but you can at least try it, right? And we've had this party that's been holding the line. Everybody's been holding the line with it, keeping it going for 50 years now. It's like, well, might as well try it. So that's why we're just doing a ton of like activism and doing a ton of like obviously running candidates. So there's me running. There's Jacob Luria is running in Golden District 1. Ethan Augreen is running for mayor of Longmont. We have a Brian Edwards, I think, is like school board, and a lady named Amara for school board. And we have obviously Aaron Lamb. He's already the mayor of Kingsburg. He's who kind of like inspired the rest of us. We're like, ooh, okay. And he's
are your local politics, are those partisan or are they nonpartisan?
Like my race is nonpartisan. That's why here's one of my things for people. It depends on where you are, but on my affidavit to run, there was a spot to put your political party. And I knew it was nonpartisan. I was like, well, it won't show up, whatever. So I wrote Libertarian Party of Colorado. I was just filling out the form, And then the news article was like, oh, they're in a nonpartisan race. They're libertarian.
It asks for it.
And then so I remember the day of, the lady called me and she's like, do you want to change it? And I'm like, well, it doesn't show up on the actual ballot, right? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, then who cares? Well, people were obviously sniffing me out, and I had all the crap happen to me. And it was
Mm-hmm.
just, so that was like, there, it was so funny too, because at the end of the article, I'd said something, I said I'd like to get rid of the taxpayer should not be going towards DEI classes for government employees.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's BS. So I like said something about that to that article, and the guy, my opponent, said something like, "No, we need that to be more inclusive." And then here, this whole article is being exclusive of me, like she's a libertarian, and just all this. It's just been so goofy.
The hypocrisy of the system right now it's horrible.
Yeah, it's goofy. So if you don't have to write that, don't write it, because people look it up and they make a big deal of it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Any more questions over here? Oh, Anna Benzo Barbie says hi from Rumble.
Hi.
That we are. Oops, I guess I can take that off. Yeah, and it's goofy. Just the whole business side of the whole keeping the political party going is so much work, and then trying to do activism. So it's
Well,
like,
and that's one problem libertarians have is when you look at like the GOP or the Democrats, they have numbers, so they can spread the workload out over hundreds, if not dozens, of members. Whereas libertarians, you've got the same half dozen to a dozen that are trying to do everything, and we get burned out. They get burned out, and they say, "All right, I'm not getting the support I need. I'm not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel here, so I'm done."
yeah, no, there's a whole big warehouse of libertarians just working
Oh
like
yeah.
they're back there. Don't worry. No, we're I don't know if there's someone like this in Texas. Texas is gigantic, but here we have this awesome we have this awesome dude. His name's Brandon Wark, and he runs a thing called Free State Colorado, which is not to be confused with any other free state things. It's his own thing. He's
Mm-hmm.
trying to do his own thing. And he just like digs into all the legislative stuff, all the like I've been learning from him what I can do at my city county level, like what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're so grateful for this man because he puts it all in just volunteer time too. And so that was one thing we did is basically, and I'm excited for this next year, depending, I mean, even if I win or not, but a legislative session basically. So Sunday nights we have a Zoom call and kind of like
Mm-hmm.
go over like what's coming up, what are they trying to push through, which out here we have freaking commies in the state house, so like they
Mm-hmm.
try to put through some bullshit. So we try to get people on, get people educated, and then get people to go and like teach people how to go speak, because that is like, but once you know how to do it, then it's like, oh yeah, I'm like, first of all, you get hooked. I don't know if you've ever gone and spoken against a bill or for a bill, like, woo, feels so good.
Yeah, I've spoken out against many ordinances that our city council and mayor tried to pass. Most of the time, it falls on deaf ears because by the time the public gets to speak, then they've already made their decision.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. I'm gonna be the hard ass about that on my city council. Be like, no, I'm not making no
Mm-hmm.
decisions. Yeah, so like at the state house, and they're all unimpressive. They're all unimpressive on my state legislative. Like they're not special people. They're sitting
Mm-hmm.
up here, and I just, even though you know they're gonna make a stupid call, which sometimes they didn't. I actually had to speak against the bill that would have made third parties ballot access harder. We all went and spoke against that, and we actually got that one. But yeah, you just look them in their eyes. Just getting to look them in their eyes,
Mm-hmm.
especially after COVID and like being very upset at the government. It just felt really good. It's kind of a hair, like I was gonna say heroin. I was gonna have another slip.
Well, everybody missed the slip earlier,
Yeah,
so.
oh, and I can't say it on YouTube. That was so funny. um. Anyways, I don't know where it's gonna go in with that, but it's fun, and like the politicking is fun. I don't know if you, like you said, you're building coalitions. Like
Mm-hmm.
we've that's what kind of like there was a catalyst in me in January because I started getting more involved with MC, with everything, and I did this little speech at an event, a 30-year anniversary of the thing called Tabor out here in Colorado, our taxpayers' Bill of Rights, and they asked me to go say something because we bought a booth there. And I was like, oh God, I hate public speaking. I like literally hate I can be on the internet attention whoring all day
Yet
long.
you're running for city council.
Well, yeah, I've had to get real good all of a sudden. So, anyways, yeah. So I spoke at this thing, and like this really sweet lady came over. It was like, just looks like your typical boomer GOP mom, and
Mm-hmm.
she just like, she runs a group called Americans for Prosperity. Have you heard of them? They might
The
be.
name sounds familiar.
They're very like more conservative and GOP, but they're more an activist group too. So they actually like are trying to do stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
they help, like some of the ladies came and helped me. We're helping them because we have a proposition out here. We're all trying to call to vote against. We have to educate everybody on that because obviously they're lying, because it's for the kids. It's for the kids in the schools. How can the taxpayers starve the kids in the schools?
Think
So
about the kids.
think about the kids. Yeah. So, anyways, that's fun. Building the coalition's fun. It's been fun. Like I go to like little GOP meetings in their houses and stuff, and like they're
Mm-hmm.
just sweet old ladies. And as crazy as I am, a bunch of them had, not a bunch, but like ones who are internet savvy have been following me on Twitter, because I was like, okay, let me warn you. And this was like before I started running. So I'm like, let me warn you about my
Before
Twitter.
you look at my Twitter.
Yeah, let me just like, and this one, a couple of them were like, no, we've been following you for months. And I'm like, oh no.
Well, you're still following him and talking to me, so
Oh
we're
yeah, like
good.
we like we're I don't care at this point. Like people, and then of course that's the whole like slur from the like loser brigade people, right? It's like, oh, you Republican, you Republican,
Mhm.
you GOP sellout. I'm like, at least I'm fucking doing something. I don't care what you all do. Like, go do something too. And just
Mhm.
shut the fuck up about what I'm doing. So what we're doing. So, anyways, that's my piece on that.
Yeah, no. Forming those coalitions with parties, with groups. Uh, right now, there's like this stigma where, oh, that person has an R next to their name, or that person has some other title. I refuse to work with them, or we refuse to do any business with them. It's like, okay, well, look, are they trying to promote liberty? Are they trying to roll back the state, the overreach from the government? Then let's work together on these one little issue. We can go back to Twitter and fight each other the rest of the time, but this one little thing, let's come together on that.
It seems that easy. That was our ballot access when we like spoke on it. Was League of Women Voters, Libertarian Party, Unity Party, Green Party. We have a guy out here who runs the Approval Voting Party, and
Hmm.
he's Uncle Frank. We love him to death. He's down. He
Hmm.
goes to every board meeting. He's like, I love the older gentlemen who are just, they're so into this stuff. You know what I mean? It's like their life.
Hmm.
They're retired. They like they're all the time. They're some of our best assets. But yeah, we made like, yeah, just all speak together, and then I don't agree with them on everything. So what are you gonna do? And it worked. And it was a Republican trying to make the rule because there was a spoiler in her race, and she was wanted to make it hard so third parties couldn't jump in. And I was like, no, bitch.
Yeah, we're doing the same, having to fight the same thing here. A lot of our members had to spend most of the last legislative cycle fighting ballot access laws that the Texas House was trying to get passed through. They're just doing everything they can to make it harder for us, and it's spending all of our time doing it.
I know, it's so annoying.
So
It's
then they
like,
get to go and pass other laws that we don't agree with, or we would have liked to throw in support behind. But because all of our manpower is focused on that one thing, it's what we got
they
to
know
deal with.
they know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they're doing.
And, and
We
then
don't have
they go out on the Senate floor and they lie about specific laws. They lie about the current process that's going on. We had, I think it was either a senator or a House rep that lied about the current convention process in Texas to the rest of the body, which took place after the public hearings. So there was no way for us to refute it to the rest of the body.
That's cool.
And they're all Republicans and Democrats, so none of them understand what the rest of the process is like. They
Did
know
they? Were there any consequences for that, or no?
not that I'm aware of. I think only one bill passed, and that was just to increase the filing fees.
Oh, Senator Mays Middleton. I'm getting as
That's
the
the
name.
one. Yep.
Yeah, I gotta love it. and the other people who go to speak on stuff too. Like one of the things was to say that the COVID vaccine does not need to be on the childhood vaccine schedule. It's like, okay, that's actually a good bill. Yeah, the COVID vaccine does not need to be put on there. This is a good bill. It protects people from the government a little bit, gives us our choice. Um, and like, of course, a ton of people came to show up, and this was this last January, so we've had plenty of evidence of everything for the evidence base, not just the like fuck the government people, which I don't I know all the evidence too, but also like fuck the government, don't tell me what to do. But we had all these people show up, all this evidence, and then who shows up to speak against it? Well, it's government employees,
Of
the
course.
Department of the Colorado Department of Health, and then also like one disability guy, which I'm like, you're here, you're disabled, which at one point in this country, disabled people, they were trying to force you to not have the right, they wanted to forcibly sterilize disabled people in this country, which is like kind of terrible. And which Paul in the chat, you remember that, he remembers that case. But and then you're trying to say that they have to give this vaccine to kids because of your sake, because you're disabled. It's like, what? And then like, yeah, professor for CU and like a teacher, and I'm like, oh, okay, of course they want to stuff these kids full of this stuff. It's so weird. I don't get it. Oh. So remains like we had a Dem stick up for us, and he is a bit Liberty Republican. Yeah, we have a Liberty Republican here. Her name is Lauren Boebert. I don't know if anyone's heard of her, but
Isn't that Lauren Boebert, if I'm not mistaken? I think that's her new nickname.
I love it. I love all the goofy little bits where because we got local attention after that, and because we're running a candidate against her, and he announced right just by the timing of God, he was announcing right around then, and then that happened. so
Is
of course,
there a Democrat running against her too?
yeah. So the guy who she beat last time, I don't know if you remember, there was all this like recounts going on, and she barely won. She won by 546. So so that guy's running again, Adam Fish, I think, and he's like he's act blue, of course. So he's always like,
Okay.
Bobert's getting out of state PAC donations. Donate to my thing, and it's like act blue, and I'm like, what do you think act blue is? It's so nuts. Just diving into all that Act Blue stuff too. It's like we are up against a literal. I mean, it's the cabal, which we all have our own cabals, right? But this one's a pretty damn big cabal. It's crazy that they run, but yeah. So our guy really won't be a spoiler necessarily. I mean, she only won by 500 votes, so. But who knows? Who knows what could happen in between now and then? You just never know, man.
Hey,
Politics
if your guy can get 600 votes, you can flip it.
yeah, like you know, and we're getting some attention. Our local news people haven't had to say the word libertarian as much as they have, like in the last year, basically. It's been great. Love it. And he's like the guy who doxed me is from that station. So they're all like assholes. He's always trying to take digs at us too. And we're like, oh, we're just so happy he has to say our name. So it's the best thing we can hope for. Do you have any goal if you win chair? I mean, I know the stuff's on your website, but what's like your top 3 things that you would like to see different from how things are run now?
So my top priority is going to be focusing on local candidates. So Texas state law does require us to win certain percentage at the state level in order to maintain ballot access. So of course that's still going to be something that we need to do. But I mean, libertarians, especially in Texas, running up against the GOP and the Democrats, Texas is, for better or worse, a purple state. So the big cities are going to be all blue. All the rural areas and the suburbs are going to be mostly red. But even the city that I'm in, the county where I'm in, it's almost 50-50 red and blue. So trying to win these big state elections, I think the most we can do there is, bring awareness, up some of our game there to get us into the news. But locally, I think is where we're going to have the most effort or the most effectiveness. And I mean, Texas itself has, I think it's 254 or 245 counties. We've got more than twice the number of counties of any other state. And one of the problems that I see is a lot of our counties, you may have 3 or 4 members within the county. So if somebody wants to run locally and nobody there knows how to do it, nobody there knows, how do I build a website? How do we get websites up and running? How do we get our support out there? And bringing some sort of infrastructure to the state party that we can use to leverage and assist those smaller counties, assist those smaller candidates, and say, all right, what we can help you out. We have the skills, the technology, the just the resources to get you started, to get you up and running, so that you can then focus on your campaign and not worry about all this other stuff. So that's going to be priority number one. Priority number two is giving autonomy to the staff. I personally feel that if somebody is trusted enough to be a staff member, a volunteer staff member, then they should be trusted enough to do their job. So just giving them the tools, not requiring them to go to their manager all the time, or the director to say, hey, can I do this? Can I do that? Just, you were appointed to that position. You have the trust, go do it. So those will be my top two. And then my third, again, is going to be reaching out to those other parties, other organizations, individuals, and forming some tight coalitions, whether it's single item issues with somebody we would never talk with any other time. We don't have to agree on their entire platform, but working with them to bring liberty to Texas. A lot of people say that Texas is one of the freest states. It's actually not. It's probably one of the least free states out there right now. When you actually start breaking down the laws that we have, it's more towards the bottom than it is the top.
Oh yeah, it's obviously Colorado got taken over a while ago, but it used to be much better. But yeah, I don't know what we do anymore. Well, those are great goals, and it's actually doing something.
It is.
What a novel concept. You're not running to the newspaper to try to slander people or doing crazy things, just a waste of time.
Yep. And now, that for that third item, like I said, forming those coalitions and working with groups, I mean, that extends internally and externally. So if you're not willing to work with somebody because they're on a certain caucus, if you're not willing to work with somebody because they're a Republican or they're a registered Democrat, then I don't need you as a volunteer, because you're putting up a roadblock that doesn't need to be there.
It's just so inefficient. There's enough to do. There's enough other people you can just go do something. You can just go. You can go adopt a highway for your county that you can do, or I just do not. I'm so lazy. I'm lazy as it is for me. I can't imagine having to live a life and on top of it be like how they are, when all you have to do is just show up and help. And I'm even at the point I'm like, I don't even want apologies, because some stuff's been pretty nasty. I don't even know these people. I'm like, I don't want apologies, whatever. Just do the work. Just show up, do work, or go do your own thing. Whatever. It doesn't have to be this way. Oh, all right. Well, is there anything else you want to add, or any other questions in the chat? Give you a couple more minutes here.
Bring on the questions.
Let's see. They're planning a party for after a Baytown event coming up.
Yes, so we are doing some leadership training down there. Baytown, just north of Houston, or just outside of Houston. So we're looking to plan some sort of get together there.
Yeah, so it sounds like there's even an after party. I mean, so we got Jennifer, Vince, Kumaya for the chat over there. So it's all getting planned out, but you'll just don't worry about it.
Yeah, and then our next quarterly select meeting will be in November. It'll be up here in Dallas. The after event for that one, the state party's putting on, is supposed to be a burlesque show. So that'll be interesting.
Oh, they said they're correcting you, east of Houston. Oh, a burlesque show? And then they'll be for an adult audience, and you guys can
I hope so.
Fun.
I hope there's an 18+ warning on that.
I'm sure. Is it at a cabaret club, or?
No, it'll be at the hotel that the select meeting's at.
Okay, so someone they're hiring to come in. Yeah, I'm sure.
Mhm.
I used to love going to Capitol. I loved all that shit. I don't know. I think it's all CIA and FBI. Like, obviously, there's freaking weirdos who are fucking weird, right? But then, like, just the way it's
Well,
all.
it'll be in Dallas, so there'll definitely probably be some FBI and CIA sitting around there somewhere.
I like it. They're excited. No other questions. So if there's anything else you want to add, and then you call it a night there.
You can go if you want to help me get out to these different counties, out to these different organizations and meetups in Texas. I could always use some donations. You can go to my website, nathanforliberty.com. It has my full platform that I'm running on right now, as well as a way to just send me $5, $10, whatever you want to do to help me get out there, cover the price of some gas and maybe a hotel or a reimbursement for a couch.
Yeah, that's always nice. Yeah, and that's all your plugs. You got any other plugs?
I mean, there's lots of plugs. We can be here another hour.
I have your website and your Twitter handle in the description. So
Awesome. Yeah. Nate the ANCAP on Twitter. I've also got a Facebook, though that's my team is running that for me because I refuse to reinstall or sign up for Facebook again. It can burn to the ground for all I care.
yeah, I get it. I got off of Facebook in March 2020, and I have not looked back
Yep.
once. Fuck that place. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks, Nate, for coming on. I'm going to try to keep doing, I want to do more of these talking to like local people and doing local things, state affiliate and down. So, because people need to be paying more attention to this shit.
Mm-hmm.
We're inspiring. Like people get to come hang out with me. Like I'm
That's
sorry,
awesome.
people are coming and hanging out with me, and then we're like, how much work can you do? We can't leave the bar until you commit to 10 hours a week of work. No, just kidding. Just kidding, everybody. I'm not like that. Please hang out with me. Everyone knows my stuff, and thanks again, everyone, and have a good rest of your Tuesday. Bye.